Thank you so much, Chair. And thank you, Rep. Jacques, for taking our questions. And I have practical advice, right, for the bill, what I already shared. Let's narrow the definition. Let's think about grandfathering, timeline. But then I also just have my values-driven position. And I echo some of the concerns from the audience. I've been really proud since my early days at UCF and trying to reduce energy costs, back then it was all about LEED energy buildings, and it wasn't always on the goal of carbon neutrality or net zero, but it did fall under a banner of trying to reduce carbon production because of the scientifically backed evidence around carbon increases impacting climate, right? And we can have debates over the origin of climate change, but we do have concern about sea level rise in this state. We've passed policies around hardening homes because of weather patterns and sea level. And there can be debates over its origin in this body, but science overall has really been pretty consistent. And so it's one thing for us to have a political debate, but I also just have concern when it comes to the realities that oil, fossil fuels in general, are volatile. And we had conversations here about how international conflicts impact the cost here. And it is really important to take a word from the Trump administration, energy independence, right, and energy dominance. And so we debated here nuclear energy as another alternative. And I would argue that things like solar, wind, all that is part of the energy dominant, energy independent campaign. And I was really blessed a few years ago to actually do a bipartisan trip under the banner of the Aspen Institute with American state lawmakers and then German lawmakers. And we spent 2 days in Germany looking at their wind technology and some of their other advanced technologies. And then we spent time in New Jersey, of all places, looking at Stevens University, where they're experimenting with wave energy, and then looking at technologies around fusion and fission energy and so forth. So I would hate to see us stall our competitiveness because we're caught up in politics, because I think it's important to, one, listen to consumer demands of where they want our energy production to come from. And then two, we need to also get off oil because it's just not going to be long-term sustainable. And I'm a firm believer in not offshore drilling in Florida. I think many of us here are. And so I understand that there will be exploration of those options, but I do feel like it's a finite resource. It's old technology. Why not embrace new technology in the case of energy production? So if there's a way to tailor this bill where the political goal is accomplished, but the ultimate on-the-ground work can continue in the sense of energy dominance, independence, and efficiency and cost savings, I think you'll strike a beautiful balance. But the way the bill speaks and the way it could impact local governments now, I can't do that. But I do want to offer partnership and getting to a point where those really important programs, regardless of how they got here, can continue, because I think the impact is still really valuable. Even if the mission under this law can no longer be carbon neutrality, I think the mission of energy independence, new technologies, and cost savings are still really valuable for us to prioritize. Thank you, Chair.